Hey everyone, this is Devansh and I'm a final year math student, and recently I've just scored 75%, well to be precise 74.6% in my third MBBS Proff, and I'll just exactly tell you how I did it in less than 20 days. So let's dive into it. So well, what do I mean by when I say that just less than 20 days? Well, there's this disclaimer here. I don't want to misguide you. For me, those 20 days were 10 days before my prelims and 10 days before my uni. Okay, so the timeline, if I were to give you, like roughly, it was from 1st of October to 10th of October, 10 days. Prelims were starting from 11th of November, I guess, 11th of October, 11th of October. Then 17th to 20th October, I went home for the Diwali, and from 29th to 9th of October, November, 29th October to 9th of November, those 10 days again. And from 10th of November to 21st of November, we had our uni exams. Okay, so this was 2025. Okay, so this was the rough timeline. Now, what I would be saying is that to not misguide you, you should be at least on the 30-40 levels, 30-40% levels in your internals, I would say. Internal 1 and internal 2. Like 2-3 days before internals, you should be preparing. But if you have this 20 days, and if you were to start from the zero even, I would not say that you could get a rank or a distinction, but you could get a pretty good score. So well, I've divided the entire video into 3 parts, and it's like first part is about what you do before the exam, and the second part is about what you do in the exam hall, and the third part is mostly like kind of the mindset kind of a thing and the psychological aspect. Well, the third video might not even show up, but well, that's what I have planned for right now. So let's just get to the video one. Okay, so well, the first video is about the preparation and the knowledge part. Okay, so well, keeping this very generic, and well, that's in my third year and my juniors, that is I'm 2022 batch and my juniors, that is 2023 batch. Okay, so I think they too have just FMT and PSM, and well, from 2024 batch onwards, they would be having ENT and Ophtha also in the third year itself. So well, I have not done ENT Ophtha at all. So well, in my final year when I do it, I will make it, but this is especially for the 2023 batch students. Okay, yeah. So well, you have only 2 subjects, that is PSM and FMT. So well, let's start. So if you see that if you ask me, video 1 holds more value and like more kind of I would say the core is video 1 than video 2. The contrary is kind of the irony is, I would say, is video 2 works more for me, because in video 2 I am talking about the presentation part and the kind of the questions that you don't know, like you have not prepared for, and how you attempt them. So I've talked about that in video 2. So like that works for me more, I guess, and that has played a major part in my kind of getting the 75%. But for any day, like okay, like the first ranker in our college or anywhere, okay, of course video 1, like knowledge is any day better than presentation. Okay, so like if you see there are toppers in our class whose presentation is not that good, but of course they are getting it because of the knowledge part, and of course that makes sense, right? But very being disclaimer here, okay, being very clear on this, that I am a hell good student. Okay, I'm not sure about being a good doctor part or like being very good with the conceptual things and all of that stuff. I'm not here to teach. Like okay, I know that I'm not as a completely zero, but like, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is like I am a very good student and I tell you how to be one. Okay, yeah. So well, video 1, if I were to start again, okay, and if I were to tell you, like if I were to tell myself like how I would do it, okay, if I have 2025 like 1 month, okay, time, and if I am to start like just 2 subjects, PSM and FMT, I would do this way. Okay, so well, point number 1 is PYQs and PYQs. Like I can't stress this more. Okay, I just do the PYQs, and so what I do is you take 2 or 3 years. Well, I have taken the 2 years, but you can do the past 3 years. Okay, past 3 senior batches, you take their papers, prelims and uni paper. Okay, so for PSM it would be paper 1, paper 2, and for FMT it would be just paper 1. Okay, so 3 papers for FMT and 6 papers for PSM. Okay, that's it, right? That's it. You don't need anything extra. Just to see the PYQs, see the pattern, that whichever the what chapters are most IMPs, and like from what more questions are asked. do that first, to keep that on the top, above list, like top of the list, okay? Just start from there, pick a point, start, and just do it. That's it. And I know, okay, this is very like you would tell me now, okay, that this is the very basic point, okay, everyone says this, we know it. Now I tell you where you would go wrong. See, what happened was, in our PSM paper 1, I think, there was this question was asked about the causality or something, you know, I don't remember the question exactly. And there was this friend of mine, and after finishing the paper, we came out and we were discussing the paper, okay? And she was like, she was not aware of the question itself. And I was like, it was from a PYQ. And the funny part is, or not the funny part, okay, like the main part is, like, I didn't make that list. She was the one to make that list. She wrote that question herself from the prelims paper. It was from 2020 batch prelims paper, okay, in our college, that is GAIMS, and our university is KSKV Kutch University, okay, yeah, Gujarat. So she kind of herself wrote that thing, but she kind of missed it to do that answer, okay? So I did that answer from her list. So the point number 1 is like, okay, you are aware about the questions, but you tend to miss it. Don't do that. Because what you do is, and how to correct this, I'll tell you. So like what she did was, like she saw the papers, okay, and she pointed out the questions and she wrote that in the IMP list itself. You don't need to do this. You don't have to do this. What you need to do is, take a Xerox of that paper, okay? Keep that paper right in front of your eyes. Every time you want to do that answer, read that question from the paper itself, not the topic. Because what you will do is, you will just write the topic into it, okay? What I would do is, I would write the exact question, the exact sub questions, and I would prepare the question as it is. And the same question was asked in our uni paper this time, okay? So that's the first mistake that you do. Like, you don't have to do, okay? Yes, yeah. And the second one is that if suppose one answer is asked, that is, let us say, suppose a case control. You do case control, okay? Like that has been asked in the PYQ. Now what I would do is, I would do case control, I would do cohort, and I would also do RCT, okay? So all 3 answers I would do together. No matter, like, on this case control is asked in the PYQ, right? But what I would do is, I would do all these 3 who have the probability, like, okay, case, cohort, and RCT. They are kind of similar questions, right? So they do have, they do have the probability of being asked, right? So I would do all those 3 when I would see that paper, and I would, when I would, like, you know, see that question in that paper. So you do this works. So this is how you need to do the PYQs. So if you see now, if you solve 2-3 papers, enough, more than enough. That's it for the point 1, okay? So while the point number 2, and that's, you know, 20-80 rule. It's like 20% of the efforts that gets you 80% of the results. I always do this. Like, you know, if you know, like suppose in the PSM, you have communicable, okay, yeah, chapters, and the program chapters. Like, you know that you need to do a kind of a vast, you know, kind of entire portion to just kind of get 1 or 2 questions on that. That's sums of what? 6 to 10 marks, right? Okay. Like, why would you want to do that? Just skip that. Go for the major chunk of the portion, like eat that first, you know, like there's a saying that eat the frog, right? The first one, and in a day, like I don't like that saying, but do that first, okay? So when you do that now, like, and how will you know that what is the 20% and PYQs again? You would know that what the 20% will give you 80%. You will know this from the PYQs only. So just whatever university are you in, or the whatever college, just go for the PYQs and just see the 20%, find out, figure it out. And you know, that's not something that I can tell you. It's like you yourself would know when you see the PYQs, okay? So just go for that. In the PYQs also, if you see now, in the past 2-3 years, there will be 4 questions, like screening question, okay? Like toxicology, if you see OP poisoning, strychnos poisoning. So like these are the core questions that are repeated at least like, okay, 1 year, then skip 1 year again. So like that way, okay? So those are your 20%. Focus on that first, and you will see that you are gonna, you know, kind of like, that would be a major jump in your scores from here to here. Like major, okay, like if you are scoring 30-40, you would be on 50-60. Now from 60 to 70-80, there's a kind of a different journey, and for that, of course, you need to do the rest 80% kind of. But in that 80% also, you would want to, like, you would, like, you know, want to know, okay, what's IMP and what to leave, right? Yeah. Now the major one thing is, like, it's not a very core point, but I would want to mention this is ki when you say that, okay, you are done with this answer, like when I say that after, you know, kind of I do that answer once, like I have this thing that I don't use physical books, okay, I use PDF forms. So what I do is I just compile that answer, like from whichever the 2-3, like Arpit or Park I am referring, and what I would do is I would just mix up that, okay, from both the places. I would just collect that answer and just compile it in a one page, okay, like, you get it, right, in a one place, right? Yeah. And what I would do then is just revise that answer again and again from the same source multiple times. So it might happen that in internal one, when I've read that answer, my knowledge about that answer would be 40-50%. In the internal 2, I would do that same answer, same source again, 60-70% retention. And the prelims and uni, when I'm doing it from the third or fourth time revision, that time, of course it would be 80-90%, right? So my point here is that don't aim for the perfection in the first go. You just need to pass in your internals. That should be your aim. So the point number 4 is to analyze the paper. Okay, so how you do that? You should know the pattern. Okay, so if you see now, there is a saying like, I so love this, and it's like before studying for the paper, you study the paper itself. Okay, so there is one of my junior, okay, and he comes and asks me that Bhaiya, what do you do for kind of MCQs, what do you do for reasoning in the PSM especially, okay, and what do you do for the 3 marks answer in the FMT and stuff. Trust me, I am someone who would feel very irritated if you come and ask me this, because like this would never even come to my thoughts in the wildest of the dreams that I am to prepare anything different for MCQs, for reasonings, for case-based answers. I don't do that. I just take an answer, and what I would do is just take the IMP list and do the answers. Now from that only, if the MCQs are coming, I would be able to solve. Like my MCQs are the weak point, okay? MCQs are my weak point, and I rarely score 14, 15, like that's my max, okay, that I score. So MCQs are my weak point, but what I am able to cover is in the theory portion, like writing portion I cover that, okay? How do I do that? Okay, so it's simple. I just do the answers, and from that only the reasoning questions you can make definitely, okay? If you have the broader knowledge, PSM reasonings are very easy, trust me. You can make them if you have done the kind of the crux and the most IMP questions, okay? Yes. And the case-based answer are nothing but it's just the application of those answers. So it's nothing that they are gonna ask you kind of allegedly like a pharmac and patho things like case exactly like in the second year. No, it's basic, simple. So the point number 5 is food. I don't know if I should be concluding with this, but I think I don't want to conclude with this, yes. So food, okay, like my mom says this, and it has been a ritual since ages in our home, okay, at our place, that my mom makes my most favorite dishes during the exam time, okay. Here also okay, I rarely go to my mess, and I always order from Swiggy and Zomato only. Well, I know it's very contrary to the kind of don't eat anything outside food during the exam times, but well, for me this works, okay, and I think it should work for you too, because I think like those 7 to 8 timing in the 7 to 8 p.m. or 8 to 9 p.m. whenever I am having my dinner, okay, that's the best time of my day during the exam times, and it's like kind of I take it as a kind of a reward thing or a benchmark thing that okay, till 7 just do this, okay, till 7 at 2 pata hoga, and then 7 to 8 is like me, my food and TMKOC, okay. So that is like kind of a recharging thing for me. So I think just one of the major things that you do need to do is it can be anything, okay, that 1 hour can be anything that recharges you, okay, but do keep this as a point that do take that 1 hour in those days, even if it's you have just next day or exam, okay, and yeah, so that's it, and that's it. This is all for video 1, and if I were to summarize it, point 1, PYQs, okay, past 2 years is also enough, but 3 would be a safer option, I would say, yes. With MCQs you can do. The second is from that PYQs, just take the 20% crux and do that first, okay, that will give you 80% of the results, so make that. Third, you should know your pattern of the paper, okay, this is very important. Unless you do that, unless you crack that, unless you skip few things, like you don't specifically prepare for MCQs also, you don't specifically prepare for reasoning also, because that would be a kind of clutter on your head that I have to do this, I have to do that. No, just cut that short, okay, yes. Then the fourth would be, which I have forgotten, yeah, when should you say that you are done, okay, that's very important, because you can just do the answer, do one program or do one communicable for hours and days, and you would be you cannot be contented with that, okay. So you should know that when to make a stop. 40-50% efficacy in the first go is more than enough. Don't aim for perfection in the first go, okay, that would come eventually with your internals, prelims, and till uni it will be coming, okay, yes. And the fifth and the most important point for me is food. Well, for you it might be a gaming or something like chilling with your friends, talking with your friends, anything, but do have that, and that 1 hour during that preparation time, that recharging time, that works wonders for me, okay, yes. And well, the additional point I would say is sleep, okay. Sleep for me during the exam times, well, I could manage on just 1 hour, half an hour sleep also between my continuous papers and exams. So, but before that, okay, before those 5-10 days before the uni, I sleep like literally kumkaran. Okay, I would legitimately sleep continuously for days and days, like 4-5 days. Okay, but then during those 5 days, I would be sleeping very minimal, and during the exam days, I would not even sleep sometimes. Okay, yeah. So well, that works individually, but yeah, this is me. So this is my preparation part. The main core Devansh in those 5 to 10 days before the exam, and that's it. Well, I'm not gatekept anything. Okay, this is the truest Devansh. This is the truest D in those 5 days. Kind of those legitly like crucial 5 days before the exam, and this has what like worked out for me, and that's it. So well, I hope that this works out for you too, and see you in the video too, where I will be talking about my presentation and the rest of the part that you do in the exam hall. Okay, so yeah, stay tuned. You are watching D.Doc and Beyond, and all the best.